Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at the 20 toughest missions we have ever encountered across the Grand Theft Auto franchise.
Show us, Amanda.
I don't think Michael's up to this.
He may surprise you.
Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. The Triathlons, Grand Theft Auto 5.
My electrolytes are all off today. Get in there! Woo!
This may not be the strongest entry to start off with, admittedly, but really the triathlons are difficult mostly in terms of tolerance. There isn't anything super complicated in the controls, nor the AI. No, this mission is purely a test of endurance and patience. The worst kind of mission. Whether you're speeding on the bike, swimming across the Alamo Sea, or competing in a cross-country race, having to sit there and mash X for an extensive period of time gets really stale after minute 1. Honestly, we'd rather be doing anything else besides this. The Snowstorm, Grand Theft Auto 4.
Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong?
Jacob here. You know Jacob?
Elisabetta wants Nico to track down Jacob's dealer and get her product back. Sounds like it should be an easy errand, like when Ryder had us track down the dealer in the beginning of San Andreas. Indeed, the first half of the mission is fine. It's when the National Office of Security Enforcement arrives when this mission becomes migraine-inducing. Not only do you need to take out any and all noose officers inside the hospital, you will also need to shake them off and lose your wanted level before you return to Elisabetta and Jacob. Easier said than done, so try to make sure you have a reliable vehicle for a speedy getaway.
I'll call you. You know, as and when we need you.
OG Loke, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Hey,
What's up, CJ?
What's up? What's up, man? Wanna go to prison?
What?
OG Loke is one of the most annoying characters you will ever meet in San Andreas, and what makes us more annoyed with him is that he is the epicenter of one of the game's most difficult missions. OG Loke the Mission tasks you with tracking down a man named Freddy and getting rid of him once and for all. Here's the problem. He's going to book it and force you to give chase on a motorcycle. And guess who's doing the shooting? Not you. It's OG Loke, old Jeffrey himself, and he is a terrible shot. Terrible shot. Theoretically, you could just try to sideswipe Freddy to knock him off his bike, and we have seen some pretty interesting ways to quickly off Freddy. But then, if you go a little too fast or you hit him at just the wrong angle, you risk killing Loke, which results in mission failure. Honestly, Loke should have just given us the gun and stayed behind instead.
Thanks for the ride, CJ. Don't be a stranger, fool.
Bury the Hatchet, Grand Theft Auto 5.
I mean, let me just ask you something. All right, something I've been thinking about. Up in North Yankton, exactly who was buried in your place?
In terms of narrative, Bury the Hatchet is among the best missions featured in GTA 5. In terms of gameplay, it can be rather grueling when trying to progress the story. Right when Michael and Trevor are about to have a standoff, the Triads crash the party and proceed to abduct Trevor. As if the night sky doesn't already make it tough to spot your enemies, the enemies now have an absurd amount of accuracy in their shots. To make matters worse, the walls in Tombstones don't provide a decent amount of cover at all. You may as well open Michael's coat and shout, "Fire at will!" Alas, there's more GTA 5, so you're just gonna have to suffer through and figure something out.
Trevor Phillips! Mr. Cho has requested a word! Hey, ho, I'm not the guy you're looking for!
S.A.M, Grand Theft Auto 3.
My handyman.
I was bored, so I came over to keep Asuka company.
She's got the makings of a natural, this girl.
If you want to talk about games that haven't aged well in terms of balance, there are plenty to choose from in GTA 3, although that could be a whole list itself. Among the first that come to mind is S.A.M, the mission that brings an end to Asuka's portion of the campaign. Understandably, a finale such as this should be kind of hard. After all, you are helping the Yakuza and Liberty City police are going to deem you a threat the second they spot you. Even so, the aggression here from LCPD is a little too absurd and winds up making this mission more frustrating than it needs to be. But that's what you get when you're trying to beat a game from 2001. Bomb to Base, Act 2, Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yo, my man. Salvatore phoned ahead, but a job like this is gonna need a lot of fireworks.
Sniping missions can be loads of fun, but the problem with GTA 3 is that some of these sniping missions demand too much from the player, such as the case with Bomb to Base Act 2. While 8-Ball sets up the bomb, you're going to need to use your sniper rifle to kill enemies before they can stop him. Problem is that this mission throws in way too many enemies for you to properly divide your attention between, and adding to the frustration is 8-Ball's tendency to, for some reason, join the fight before he can finish setting up the bomb, which, more often than not, ends up getting him killed. Mission failure. Wasted. It's like you're trying to become the ultimate saboteur with the lemmings as your assistants. Highwire, Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories.
It's been impounded. You must steal it before they take it back to the police station. Thank you, Vic. I do so enjoy our conversations. I find you very inspiring.
Oh boy, a mission where we get to pilot a helicopter. That was the level of enthusiasm almost nobody had when Highwire showed its ugly mug. For some reason, GTA has a strange history, as we'll see in a short bit, with implementing horrible flight controls. In Highwire, you must use the helicopter's giant magnet to move crates before having to rescue a cartel crony from a rival gang. It's a whole mission consisting of very simple tasks, yet the helicopter's controls make this obscenely hard to pilot and align the magnet with the object you're trying to snatch. Good luck. You're going to need it.
Gracias, señor. That was fantastic. Adios.
Learning to Fly, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
You're gonna have to prove to me that you can fly if you're gonna continue working towards your brother's freedom.
One would think that a whole mission centered on learning how to pilot a plane might mean there's a solid implementation of flying mechanics in San Andreas. That would be the bee's knees now, wouldn't you say? Learning to fly quickly becomes one of the most frustrating moments in San Andreas, as you have to suffer through 10 entire lessons on how to properly control a plane. 10 whole lessons. Even though beating this mission nets you a handful of rewards, it is really going to test your patience. Better prepare yourself to dedicate an entire play session to this. Sexy time. Grand Theft Auto 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony. Oh, look everyone, it's another flying mission. Look, you get the picture with this one. It's the same exact problem as San Andreas and Vice City Stories. Pilot a flying vehicle to achieve your goal. And even 5 years later, after that horrible learning to fly mission, Rockstar still hasn't nailed down how to properly implement controls for helicopters and planes. We'll be honest and say that they aren't as bad here as they were in San Andreas and Vice City Stories. Still, it is really not great here, and I pray to God GTA 6 has way better flight controls. Please, please.
You must be Lewis. Dude, crazy ride you got here. Tell me about it, bro. You're a med, right? Useless sport.
Keep your friends close. Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
What's going on?
Tommy. Oh, good. Listen. I like fish. I love fish. I love them as pets in bowls, or as food on a plate, but as much as I love them, I don't want to sleep with them, okay?
After all this time, you can finally bring Vice City to a close with this one final story mission. It is time to bring an end to Lance Vance and Sonny Forelli. Well, you best be ready to do every objective in a single run. In addition to every enemy being armed to the teeth with firepower, you have to play this entire mission from start to finish with no checkpoints. Nothing. Your temperament may be put to the test here, so try to remember that patience is a virtue, and you're gonna have to get good.
You know, maybe you should speak to my shrink.
That stupid prick Lance.
Tommy, I never liked that guy, okay?
Wrong side of the tracks. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
San Fierro? I thought northern Mexicans don't mix with Los Santos S.A.s.
Shit, you got me.
That look like them.
Anyone who has played San Andreas probably immediately thinks of this mission when it comes to discussing the hardest segments of the game. Wrong Side of the Tracks sees CJ and Big Smoke following a damn train to bring down members of the Vagos gang. Regardless of how good your driving skills are, the biggest pain in the butt here is that Big Smoke is a god-awful shot. Had the roles been reversed with CJ shooting and Big Smoke driving, perhaps this mission would have been more tolerable. Personally, I didn't find much difficulty with this mission, but I think there's some skill involved with driving and racing games as well, so maybe that's why I didn't have much trouble, but I beat this on my second or my third attempt, so I understand though why people don't like this one.
Hey, let's get out of here before the cops show, man.
Death Row. Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Where did he take them? In plain English. Keep your party on. They got him across town to the junkyard.
For as good as the stories and gameplay were in the PS2 GTA games, it does not compensate for how loathsome the driving could be at times. This is especially evident in Vice City's Death Row mission. Lance Vance is being held captive at a junkyard, and you have to rescue him before his health bar drops to 0. Problem here is that by the time you arrive and deal with the guards at the gate, Lance will have already lost about a third of his health, giving you very little time to take out the rest of Ricardo Diaz's goons. We're just glad the rush to the hospital wasn't as grueling, that is, if you nab a car with a moderate speed. The Big Score, Grand Theft Auto 5.
I got a good feeling about him.
We'll only get one shot at this thing. Is this the shot we want to take?
We won't harp on about this mission for too long. After all, the Big Score is the penultimate mission in GTA 5, so it kind of makes sense that this would be a difficult mission. Even so, we weren't expecting the obvious approach to be as challenging as it ended up being. Your patience will be tested here, as enemies are super accurate with their shots. Basically, you'll need to have a good grasp of GTA 5's gunplay, otherwise you might feel like you're ramming your head against the wall. The Exchange, Grand Theft Auto 3.
You have been a busy boy, but you haven't learned. I'm not to be trusted. Kill the idiot!
Speaking of ramming your head against a wall, the Exchange has earned its notoriety in how it feels like your chances of success are entirely dependent on luck. Not only do you have enemies with great accuracy on your butt the entire time, you also have only 7 minutes to get to the dam, take them all out, and rescue Maria. You'll have to cheese the prehistoric AI in order to stand a chance, and yes, have a grasp of the gunplay. Again, we would expect the final mission or level in a game to be difficult, just not on this level. But hey, people have found a ton of cheese methods, but back then, this was really tough.
There have been no official denials concerning rumors that the dead were members of the Colombian cartel, and still no leads as to the cause of the massacre.
Robbing Uncle Sam, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
How we get this van? It wasn't outside when I came through.
My homie LB, he like a clockwork ninja, real dependable.
Another notorious mission from San Andreas, and certainly not the last one we'll be addressing from this game. Robbing Uncle Sam ought to have been renamed Robbing Your Time and Your Sanity. In an effort to arm the Grove Street family, CJ and Ryder break into a military depot for weapons. This mission simply asks too much of the player and makes the multitasking more cumbersome than it needs to be.
Shit, CJ! Shit!
In addition to dealing with enemies, you'll need to operate a forklift with abysmal controls to transport a crate to a box truck. You have to do this 6 times to finish the mission. 6 times! While praying that Ryder is competent enough to land his shots and watch your back. And afterwards, you'll have to lose the military vehicles chasing you before reaching your destination. There's just too much to deal with here, man.
Man, that shit was shit.
Man, you say you down for the homies, but all you do is complain.
The Driver, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. We're no stranger to GTA's occasional racing missions, but Vice City's driving was harrowing to tolerate since almost every car felt like piloting an ice cube. That's only the first half of why the Driver mission was so grueling. The other half is in how the game puts you in an unfair matchup against the AI. In order to recruit Hillary King, you will have to beat him in a street race. However, King gets to drive a muscle car, while you get to drive a cheap sedan that has lesser stats than King's. To make matters worse, the VCPD will start chasing you down mid-race for illegal street racing. We would have been fine with that part of the mission if our car had equal stats to King's, and yet we're the ones being punished for making it this far in the game. Man, this mission just made Mario Kart look way more fair.
Okay, I'll drive for you, but please treat me bad.
Did somebody say yoga? Grand Theft Auto 5.
Hello, Fabian, darling.
Namaste, Amanda. Are we ready to practice?
Yes.
Oh, yes, she's very centered.
Yoga in real life might be enjoyable for some. I am not one of those people, but I can see why. Yoga in Wii Fit, perhaps, but not preferable. Yoga in GTA? Get that crap out of here, man. Did somebody say yoga is way worse than any other mission in GTA 5? We already got some annoying thumb exercises from the Triathlon and Epsilon cult missions, both of which consisted of mashing X for a longer period of time than we would have liked.
Let it out.
I'm waiting for him to turn this into one of his episodes.
Now we gotta move the analogs at weird angles while holding the triggers? We shouldn't be experiencing this much physical strain from a video game. At least the rest of the mission is mostly cutscenes and driving around.
Yoga is the answer, Mikhail. But what is the question?
Why am I such a moron?
Espresso to go. Grand Theft Auto 3. By this point in GTA 3, you have probably become accustomed to some of the game's nonsense with its difficulty and AI. However, Espresso to go is a different level of nonsense. A number of espresso stands are scattered across Liberty City, and you need to destroy all 9 of them in 7 minutes and 50 seconds. You will be shot at upon reaching a stall, and it's this part of the mission that makes it so grueling. You need a vehicle with good speed and good armor. Your best option is to save this mission until after you've completed the Marked Man mission and unlocked the Patriot car, which boasts modest speed and bulletproof armor. This might be common knowledge today, but back in 2001, we were suffering. Thank God for the internet. Supply lines. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
God, I want to spend some time in Prague learning about myself, or just moping.
We have never been so happy to see a difficult mission be optional because holy hell is supply lines infuriating. CJ must pilot a small plane and take down a handful of delivery trucks linked to Berkeley. Moving targets are not a problem for us. We don't expect any mission to have dull targets just standing idly by waiting to be shot. However, we do expect some decent controls to at least make the mission doable. Supply lines does not meet that expectation. Controlling the plane is abhorrently frustrating to the point where most folks will choose to walk away from this mission. Should you attempt this yourself, we recommend referring to a guide to avoid any headaches, as speed, efficiency, and precision are of the utmost importance here.
Smell it! You know that ozone smell? Smells like victory.
Demolition Man. Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
This is the development as planned, and this is the property that we're looking at.
You're trying to say this new office block is kind of in the way.
You catch on quick.
GTA has an infamous reputation for god-awful helicopter missions. Learning to fly in San Andreas, sexy time in GTA 4 The Ballad of Gay Tony. But the most aggravating of them all is Demolition Man. We have already ranted a lot about controls, so what else makes this mission so infamous? On top of being just super monotonous to play in general, Demolition Man gives you absolutely no checkpoints.
You want me to drill you?
You are required to suffer through this whole mission from start to finish. If you die, you start all the way back to the very beginning of the mission, adding to the monotony. It is not only the hardest mission in the GTA franchise, it is also the absolute worst of them all. And may God have mercy on your soul if you're trying to go for Vice City's Platinum Trophy, because for one of the trophies, you will have to kill all of the enemies using only the chopper's blades. Good flippin' luck to you. What's the toughest mission you've tackled in a GTA game? Did it make our list? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.